Welcome back. My name is Chef Boyardee, and today we're continuing our Instant Pot favorites for those cool days. As the temperature changes, it's time to make something to warm our insides as well as our souls. So today, I'm going to introduce you to something I kind of made up. It's a collaboration of a couple of different recipes, and I call it taco chili. So let's get started. We're going to put our Instant Pot in sauté mode and let that heat up for a second. And I just realized I didn't grab my utensil. As always, there's something I forget. So hang on a second. Here we go. And as you probably heard the beeping, we're ready. It's going to start heating up. So again, I'm not a chef. I'm not even really a great cook. I just enjoy doing this and bringing some flavors that I enjoy to you. So we're going to start by putting in 1 pound of ground beef. So we're just going to plop that in there. And then as it starts to heat up, we're going to break it up. If you're impatient like me, just put it in there. If you've got a little bit of patience, just go ahead and let it heat up first. The leaner the ground beef you use for this, the better, because your chili won't be so oily. So we're going to let that start heating up. And it usually doesn't take too long in the Instant Pot for that little surface area to get kind of warm. All right. So while we're waiting for that, we're going to go ahead and add in the secret recipe. It's not that much secret. You know, I'm a meat eater. I love it. So I love beef. So we're going to have ground beef in there and 1/2 pound of steak. And all I do is I just go to the store and I buy the fajita steak or stew steak or anything like that to put in here. It just adds a little bit more, I don't know, meatiness to our chili. So we're gonna let that start to brown, and make sure while you're doing it, you stir it every once in a while, because we definitely do not want it to burn to the bottom. You can put some oil in the bottom of your Instant Pot if you need to. That will help. The ground beef usually has enough fat that you don't need a lot. So we're gonna let this brown. I'm gonna continue to stir it every once in a while, and I'll be right back. Okay, our meat has started to brown, and when you noticed it's about halfway brown or so, make sure you stir it and keep it going. You want to make sure you're going to brown this all the way to get the most flavor out of it as possible for your chili. But when it's about halfway, we're going to go ahead and add in 1/2 or 1 whole onion, large onion chopped up. Depends on how much onion you want. I'm putting 1/2 an onion in there. So we're going to pour that in there. And the reason we're doing that now is so the onion has a chance to cook. You want to get that onion to where it's starting to be nice and soft and translucent. That's going to get the best cook out of it to go along with our chili. So we're going to go ahead and put that in there now. And we're going to stir that up so the onions get mixed in there real nice. And then we're going to keep letting that brown. And so I'm going to be right back as soon as we're to the next step. See you in a second. Okay, now that our beef is cooked through, we're going to go ahead and start adding our other ingredients. Gotta love all this smoke. Again, practical effects, right? That's how it works. Okay, so it's getting nice and hot in there. We've got our beef cooked. We're going to first add in 1 packet of taco seasoning. And then for an extra little flavor, we're going to use brown sugar and bourbon. This gives it a little smoky taste to it. And after that, we're going to add in, you can do 1/2 a can or a whole can, depending on what you want to flavor it, of diced green chilies. We're going to use mild flavor. If you want to spice it up, go ahead and use something a little hotter, but you know, not all men are created equal, and this is going to a group dinner, so we're going to use mild. Just dump that in there, and we're going to give it a good stir. Get all that mixed in there and kind of let it cook for a second. Make sure you mix it real good. All right, now we're gonna add in 2 to 2.5 cups, depending on how thick you want it, of beef broth. You can use low sodium, normal sodium, regular beef broth, whatever you want to use. Then we're gonna go ahead and scrape the bottom of our Instant Pot to make sure we get all of the stuff that might have stuck to the bottom unstuck. That's going to do two things. It's going to make sure we get our maximum flavor, and it's also going to make sure we don't get a burn air on our Instant Pot. So just mix that up. It also helps with the steam a little bit. Okay, now we're going to add in all the other good stuff. So 1 can black beans. Shake it out in here. 1 can of kidney beans. 1 can of corn. And 1 can diced tomatoes. Perfecto. Well, as perfect as I get it anyway. Mix all of that up. Make sure you get it mixed up real good. Okay, now we're going to turn off saute mode, and we're going to put our lid on. You want to make sure your lid is in the sealed position. And then we're going to actually put it in soup broth mode for 15 minutes. It'll beep when it's auto started, and then we'll let it build the pressure. We'll cook. And when it's done, you're gonna let it naturally release for 10 minutes. So I'll see you back here in about 30 minutes. Okay, we've let it naturally release for 10 minutes. So now it's time to check it out and see how it came out. So, of course, safety first, right? When you release these things, even if you've let it naturally release, there can be a lot of steam coming out, and that steam is super hot. So be careful, all right? Here we go. See? Just like I predicted, still steam. So we're gonna let that steam release until the pin drops, and that means it's safe to open it up and check out and see how our chili came out. All right, so this usually just takes 2 or 3 minutes. I'm gonna use some Hollywood magic and speed this up or cut it or do something so you don't have to wait. See you in a second. Okay, our pin has dropped, which means it's safe to open this up and check it out. So, all right, but still be careful opening it up. Usually a little burst of steam still comes out, and it can be really warm. So just give it a twist. Shake that liquid into the pot. Set this to the side. Give it a good stir. And let's do a taste test, shall we? Of course, it's going to be super hot, so we got to be really careful with this taste test. And I'm not using a whole bunch because I'm taking this to an event. And you know, what's the usual thing I always forget? A spoon. It's a good thing they're just right there and really handy. So let's cool that off for a second. Grab a little spoonful of it. Oh yeah, that's great. Mustache filtered taco chili. I mean, obviously your servings aren't going to be mustache filtered, just mine. Bon appetit, and we'll see you next time. This has been Chef Boyardee, and you have an awesome day. Okay, I'm going to cut back in here real quick. Just because I forgot to mention, in my opinion, the best way to serve this is with some shredded cheese. I use the Mexican blend, some sour cream, and some Fritos chips. You enjoy. Have a great day.